The MacAdam Shield-Shovel, also known as the Hughes Shovel, was an item of Canadian infantry during the First World War. It was designed and patented by Sam Hughes, the Canadian Minister for the Department of Militia and Defence in 1913, for use as an instrument which held the combined function to operate as a spade shovel and a shield from which soldiers could securely fire from and advantageously not be targeted in return. Ena MacAdam, Hughes' personal secretary, had first suggested the idea of a shield shovel to Hughes after she witnessed Swiss soldiers constructing frontline fortifications in France. Description: the MacAdam Shield-Shovel resembled the standard portable infantry spade of its day in both size and shape. Its design however required it to prevent the penetration of, or at the very least deflect, enemy gunfire. As a result of this condition, heavier than usual steel was used in the construction of the blade. It measured at 3/16 of an inch thick. Heavy steel was also used to make the shovel's detachable handle, which measured 4 feet in length. Unique to the shield shovel was the inclusion of a 3.5 by 2 inch sight hole in the blade. The shovel was intended to be used as a shield by folding the handle to 90 degrees toward the concave side of the blade, exposing the spike that ran along the handle opposite the blade. The spike would then be driven into the ground, resulting in the blade standing vertically and the handle resting on the ground behind it as a brace. In total, the MacAdam Shield-Shovel weighed 5 pounds 4 ounces. It was patented as CA157592 in name of Ena MacAdam, who listed occupation as stenographer, dated August 25, 1914. She also patented it in the U.S. as 1,148,180, filed on August 24, 1914 and published on July 27, 1915. Performance: in 1914, 25,000 shield shovels were ordered and shipped to Europe for use by the 1st Canadian Division. Preliminary tests, however, revealed the unfortunate conclusion that the Shovel unregistered trademark S blade was incapable of stopping the penetration of gunfire even from the smallest of enemy-caliber arms. Its value as a digging tool was also questioned as soldiers commented against the Shovel unregistered trademark S weight, its inability to be easily carried, and the fact that the blade was poor for shoveling loose soil as it contained a large sight hole. With such a reputation, several high-ranking Canadian and British military officials refused to press the instrument into service. With these developments, an executive order was eventually issued for the shovels to be reduced to scrap. A total sum of $1,400 was recovered in the salvage. A figure far less than the original contract price, which tagged each MacAdam Shield-Shovel at $1.35. Despite being condemned by the military, a small following of Canadian snipers continued to use the shovel. Aware of the Tula unregistered trademark S limitations, they preferred to use them in a collective series for added protection. Assessment: the MacAdam Shield-Shovel currently stands in Canadian First World War historiography as an invention which was poorly conceived given that its intended purpose was never fully realized. One historian is of the opinion that the MacAdam Shield-Shovel must be recognized for what he feels it represents, a serious attempt to improve the well-being of Canadian troops. Others feel the device is simply indicative of Sir Sam Hughes' greed and arrogance, who often put his own well-being ahead that of his troops. It is also an illustration of the Canadian ideology whereby military technologies were ardently believed by their proponents to be inherently superior because they were made in Canada. References. Sources: Haycock, Ronald G., Sam Hughes, The Public Career of a Controversial Canadian, 1885–1916. Toronto, Wilfrid Laurier University Press, 1986. Morton, Desmond. Marching to Armageddon, Canadians and the Great War 1914–1919. Toronto, Leicester and Orpen Dennis Publications, 1989. Morton, Desmond. When Your Number's Up, The Canadian Soldier in the First World War. Toronto, Random House of Canada, 1993. Radley, Kenneth. We Lead Others Follow, 1st Canadian Division 1914–1918. Toronto, Vanwell Publishing Limited, 2006. Rawling, Bill. Surviving Trench Warfare, Technology and the Canadian Corps, 1914–1918. Toronto, University of Toronto Press, 1992.